G'day punters, welcome back to the MacBet Early Move. I'm your host, James Milner, and joining me is John Mcleod. John, you're in transit, moving house.
Yeah. It's been a busy couple of weeks sort of thing, just getting ready to move. So we're moving out of this house, a bigger house, so back into something a bit more manageable.
Sure, and there is only the three of you, but I can't help but notice you've had a really good week on the punt, and then you're moving houses, going close to the city. What's going on there?
Yeah, it was sort of it was a bit of a worry the last week, just so many things going on and everything. But the boys, they banded together and we all helped each other out, and we found a few winners. So it's been good for this week. Saturday, I think we had a nice little day, and then Sunday we had a win because of the last one, and then yesterday we just kept on chipping away. We probably could have had a really good day if the last one would have won, but it was a nice 3 days.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a couple there at Ipswich, sort of 2-unit bets between that sort of $2.50 and $3.80 mark. Really good seeing that, and then a bit unlucky in the last. Had a $11, $15 pop, run second with a half unit on. Like you said, could have been a pretty good day, but as far as the numbers go for the last week, we've picked up 25.9 units at 68% pot, which is nothing to sneeze at, and for the year up 271 units at 14.9%. So just good to see the graph. That worm was just going down a little bit, but it's just kicked back up pretty close to where we were at. So
it's nice to sort of just to get that dip going back up again, sort of thing. And we sort of we've just been bleeding. That's what we've been doing. And but now hopefully we've turned things around. I'll just get a few of these to be quiet. It's all happening here.
Tell them the races are on, and then they'll listen. No, it was a little bit of a bad patch there, and I know Tom was messaging me, telling me to run the numbers on how many seconds we'd backed in the last couple of weeks. It seems just ridiculous how many were just running.
It's sort of those sort of things are just going to happen, though. You're just going to have a lot of seconds and thirds, and then sometimes if you're on them each way, they'll run fourth. That's just part of the whole game, sort of thing. You just got to ride it out, and hopefully you keep in the same sort of betting way, and it'll all turn around eventually. That's all
for sure. And we're going to preview race 7 at Doomben this Saturday, but before we get into that, we're going to keep going with these improvers. I'm just going to go over your top 3 improvers from last week. We post these out on Twitter on a Monday and a Tuesday, but I think best just to hear it from you, John. We can get a bit further insight on those ones there. So Vinco is our first one there. So that he ran first in race 4 at Eagle Farm on Saturday. What did you like about this win?
I think we were tipping him on Saturday, and what we were worried about is whether there was enough speed there for him. But they sort of they didn't go that fast in front, and he just charged the line. The horse that runs second, had an okay lead, or was sitting second in the run, and not a lot of speed, and he dashed. And this horse was able to give him probably 4-length start and run him down. He's a lovely type in the yard, and I think the horse is going to improve again. I think that was probably his best rating on our figures, and but it's not to say he can't go another go. So hard to beat next time again.
For sure. And your second best improver out of that meeting came from race 5, Go Wanji. You ran third. What did you like there?
Well, I think he'd won a maiden or something the previous start at Kilcoy or somewhere like that. A Warwick or somewhere, real provincial country tracks, and he came to town a lot harder, stronger race, and he got back in the field. He's a lovely type in the yard, and he made good ground at the finish. And God, if he would have stuck at the provincials, he would have been something to beat down there. But I think he's proven himself. He can stay in town in the midweek or something like that. If he stays Saturday, it's going to be still hard, but if he goes back to a midweek or goes back to the Gold Coast or Caloundra, especially Caloundra, I think he'll be hard to beat again, or hard to beat for sure.
For sure, yeah. And your biggest improver from last Saturday at Eagle Farm comes in race 6. Released the Beans, finished up on top. What did you like there?
Well, we sort of bet against him on Saturday. I thought there was a fair few things that he had to do, and he still did it and got hurt. And, the pace of the race was up, in his face, and he let him go a little bit, but he's still racing on a hot speed. He came to the outside and held off a closer that really had the sitting shot on him. And, he's a horse that's just, kept on improving. I don't know whether there's a hell of a lot of left in the yard, that's for sure. He's at his limit there.
Sure.
But if they put him away and bring him back next time in, I think he's going to be a nice little horse, because they've got him on the up. And if they put him out now, and I love that sort of caper, if they actually, spell him on an up and they come back a nice horse. And I didn't think he was as good a horse as what he actually is, because the only little question mark in my mind is the yard. He's an okay horse without sort of saying, geez, he's a lovely horse. So, we'll just have to see how he comes back.
For sure. All right, that's our improvers from last week, and I can't help but bring up Barnum. We tipped it on the show. Probably been a while since we've tipped a winner on the show. It's $5. I think when we were talking about it, there might have been a couple of scratchings, but yeah, jumped around the $3.50 mark. Good result there.
Yeah, it was always going to be. You had to read a lot into Barnum. There was a lot of reasons why you could knock it, but there was, the reasons why we come up with to back it were, the horse was a bit stop-start and used up a little bit too much the other day to probably get Champagne Arnie beat. Whereas on Saturday, he just left it alone, just parked in third or fourth in the fence and got the split and they ran good sectional. So he's probably a horse, that can win one or two more in town, I'd say. Probably, whether he gets the 2,000 if they go up to that distance, I'm not 100% sure. Okay. You'd have to draw a good alley for that. But, he's a nice horse around this time of year.
All right, excellent. And we'll dive into Doomben this Saturday, where you're betting in race 7. The track's currently a soft 5, rail in the 0.5 metre position. How are you sort of going to play this one?
I think I don't see how the track will be wet. We've had a lot of wind, and the next couple of days I think it's going to be okay. So I think we're going to have a perfect track.
Yep.
It's a race that looks like there's two chances, but I do think in Prince of Boom and Alpine Edge.
Yep.
But I do think the stablemate to Prince of Boom, Star Tontes, went really good at the midweeks the other day, and they backed it in town the previous start, and it showed a really good turn of foot the other day, and he's definitely got a chance. But going off the trials, you'd say Prince of Boom is very hard to beat. He hit the line hard. He races up on the speed. He's probably going to get at least 3 to 4 lengths advantage over Alpine Edge, I would say. Alpine Edge is going to have to go back from that gate, whereas Prince of Boom will just slot into around the 3rd or 4th position, and he's just going to look the winner at some stage. I think the 240 is pretty short for mine. At the moment, I can't get him that short, but I'm trying to bet against Alpine Edge in a way. Like I was hoping that Alpine Edge and Prince of Boom were going to be about $3 each or two or something like that, and then I was happy to bet against Alpine Edge because of the map. Back Prince of Boom and Star Tontes, and I think it'll be nice. So whether the the Edmonds camp comes for Alpine Edge, I hope they do.
Yep.
And then we can have something on those other two.
For sure. So as it stands, probably not much of a betting race at the moment, but keen to play around Alpine Edge if it shortens up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lovely race. This is a really good race. Horses like Princess Bojack went all right in town the other day, but it was 1,000 metres going to 1,200. It's a worry. And Glorious Ruby, showed good form last preparation. I really thought it was going to, be hard to beat at about the 200. I think it was about 2 weeks ago, but he she just didn't ping. I thought she might have really hit the line, and she didn't. So, but there's always the potential there, that she could find a couple more lengths. So there's a couple. It's a really nice race and a very interesting race, especially the way the gates have turned out. If Alpine Edge had drawn about 4 or 5, well then, it's an extremely interesting race. I don't think there's a hell of a lot of difference between the two of them, but just the way the gates have worked out and the positions those two horses are going to be, you've definitely got to be in Prince of Boom's camp.
For sure. All right. Well, that's the preview of race 7 at Doomben on Saturday, guys. We've got a cracking weekend of racing ahead of us. There's a rare little Gold Coast Friday meeting tomorrow. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a good meeting too. I think it's Gold Market Day. So it's going to be it's a really good meeting. Some good fields, and the boys have been hard at it, sort of thing. I'm sort of having a little day off tomorrow, or not a day off, but it's going to be still moving. But I'm going to have a look at it tomorrow morning and run my eye over a few of them and have a talk to them and see what courses we can come up with for everyone.
For sure.
Hopefully we can follow.
And we'll have Brody in the yard.
Brody will be in the yard. Brad's going. No, Brad's not going down there, so it'll be Brody. It'll be Brody most of the time, I'd say. Tom will be working with me on Doomben. So
fantastic.
I think there's a Toowoomba meeting tomorrow night. On Saturday night, we may do a few races there. We'll just have to see, but that might be our secondary meeting for the Saturday. But we'll see how many races we get done.
For sure. And typically you're not too keen on betting up there at Toowoomba on a Saturday night. Is that just a low quality of horses, or just too much doing 3 tracks on a Saturday?
Jockeys. I'll just leave it at
that. That's too good. All right. Well, thank you, John, and thanks for watching, guys. Head to macbet.com.au to get all our stuff over this weekend. And we might see a couple of races up in Toowoomba from the boys, pending jockeys.
We might have to get Tom. He's light enough to actually start riding, so he might be a late starter and gee him up and get him in there.
He's pretty passionate on how they should be ridden. It would be good to throw him in the deep end and see how he goes.
Well, he loves sort of messaging all of the girl jockeys, so he'd get closer, that's for sure.
Anything to get closer, yep. Be holding hands, walking the track. Too good. All right. Well, thanks, John, and good luck with moving. Good luck this weekend too.
Beauty. Thanks, James.